Welcome to the wild card weekend, not super wild card weekend anymore because now we have the extra 7 seed. It's blase. We're used to it now. So we're excited. We got 6 games coming up. We got a Monday night football playoff game. We got no Ravens in the playoffs, unfortunately, but I think the closest wild card weekend that I can remember on memory where every game seems to be you can make an argument for almost every single team in every single one of these games. It's going to be exciting. We're going to give our picks, our predictions, and our choices with the spread coming up right after
I think
this.
you might notice a little bit of a different voice right now leading you off. That is because Yehuda, the original guest star.
You're not a guest. You're one of us. We switched our whole name because of you. No.
Don't give away our secret.
But you knew, the Ravens need one touchdown. The Broncos might score one more field goal. So if you get one more touchdown,
you went 10-9 call it a day.
You can win 10-9.
I'm going to go with the Commanders as well, just because it's too much of a question mark over there under center for the...
I can't believe you saw that right now.
That's asinine. You're crazy.
He's got
You're
the
crazy.
full package. He's
No
got
way.
The speed.
I don't care. No way. I can't even. It's hard to even look at you right now when you say something like that. That's crazy. Okay. And guess what? In basketball, you use a basketball. In football, you use a football.
Wild card weekend. Here we go. We're going to go in chronological order, starting with Meisty's favorite game of the weekend. He wants to spend the entire hour that we have now on this on this game. While we give 20 seconds to all the other games. Yeah, here we go. Rams, Panthers. West Coast team. One thing I will say, West Coast team coming to the East Coast. And the last time they did play, it was a Panthers win in one of the crazier games of the season, I would say, because the Panthers were favored or were underdogs by more than 2 touchdowns. I believe either 14 or 14 and a half. Matthew Stafford playing MVP level, playing really high level football. And the Panthers
killed him.
Got a pick six, got some interceptions, and won by a field goal, forced some turnovers. Matthew Stafford. Feisty, do you see any way that Panthers can do it again? They can repeat history, shock the world?
I mean, if you listen to the picks and preview, not the preview, but the picks that we did our bracket filler on this, I definitely think so. Now, I was kind of starting to talk to you before the podcast, and I realized, okay, I'll save it for the pod. But I can very easily see a situation that this game is very, very close entering the fourth quarter or midway through the third, and it's 10-7, it's 13-10, it's 21-17 or something very low scoring. And like you said, the West Coast to the East Coast, and they do get Devontae Adams back. And by the way, get out the regular season. We're in the playoffs. Let's start with that. This is a new season, so anything is possible in the playoffs. And obviously the Rams are much more hungrier than the Panthers here, and everyone's like, oh, how did you fall apart like this if the Panthers do win? So the Rams have a lot to play for here. If the Panthers lose, they kind of just get to be like, okay. But I do think that we're going to be looking, and I could be dead wrong. It could be 50-0 at halftime. But I think that we're looking at a situation where it's very low scoring or very close scoring, and then Bryce Young throws a stupid pick, or a fumble happens, or the Rams remember, hey, we have Puka Nacua, and in the red zone we have Devontae Adams, and then you just can't stop it. So if Puka wakes up, the weather's probably, I don't know what the weather's going to be like, but I'm sure the weather will play a little bit of a factor. If it's chilly, it's not easy for the Rams to come across the country for that. So I think that we're looking at a better game than most people expect. Now, it's still out of all the games this week, it's still considered the loserish game of the week. No one cares to watch this, but I don't really agree with that. I think this is best game of the week, and it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think it's been a tale of two seasons for the Rams, a little bit. Now, not completely. I think since week 13, they've been a very different player. Like that's when you kind of mark it back. So weeks 1 to 12, the Rams had the second best coverage grade in the league. Weeks 13 to 18, the 31st, which is second to last. So that's taking a big dip. And if you guys remember, first game, Rams Panthers, Emmanuel Forbes gave up the game-winning touchdown to Pedro McMillan. Big play, and obviously that was the game where the Panthers kind of converted a bunch of fourth downs over the top and took advantage of that. The Rams at that going into that week, the Rams were seen as everyone's power rankings number one. This is the best team in football and most complete team, because every other team kind of had their question marks on one side of the ball, but the Rams, everyone's like, oh, the offense is clicking with Puka and Devontae Adams in the red zone, and you're looking at the defense in the back end, Jared Verse in the front, and secondary, everything's coming together. Then boom, week 13. The coverage has broke down. It hasn't been as good. They've been giving up more big plays. You saw that again against the Seahawks a couple weeks later, and you saw it against the Panthers that game, and you saw it against the Falcons second last week of the season, that they have been a little more vulnerable to big plays. So I do think that's going to be a problem for them, and we have to see them. The talent is there. We just have to see it play itself out on the field. So if Bryce Young can create some big plays, and remember, it was a little lucky what happened last time. They forced 3 turnovers. Probably not going to happen again. But and everything went well for them. So that's why it's funny. The Rams are 10.5-point favorites in this game. They were 10.5-point favorites the last time they played. So it comes to show Vegas doesn't really care that they lost last time, which I think is correct. But if Bryce Young can throw the ball over the top, create big plays, he's going to need probably 2 or 3 of them, then they can win in this game. But if they're going to do a ground and pound, run it out, it's not going to work. They're an average run team going up against a really good run defense, and they're going to need to make big plays. It's very simple. It's quick. It's cliche. If they're not going to get, they're either going to need turnovers or they're going to need big plays. Anything outside of that, in my opinion, the Panthers have no chance in this one.
The only chance the Panthers really would have is if they get very lucky with those turnovers, like you said, and get those big plays, and if the Rams would come in with that overconfidence, like, oh, they have no shot against us, we're going to destroy them, and ironically because they already played and the Rams already lost to them, I think that plays worse for the Panthers. If this was the first time they were meeting, then there would be that element of, oh, they backed into the playoffs, they don't deserve to be here, we're the best offense with the potential MVP. We're going to roll them, and then they come in overconfident, and then they start making mistakes like what happened in the regular season. But now that we actually saw them lose, I think Sean McVay is a good enough coach. He's no John Harbaugh. The situation to be like, oh, okay, so we're just going to blow.
If Sean McVay was available, would you take him, Meisty?
In a second.
Just something about John Harbaugh. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Finger on it. Something about John Harbaugh.
Yeah. Something about Harbaugh that I missed, man. I'd hired McVay yesterday if he somehow gets fired. But, I don't think he's ever leaving the Rams unless he retires and goes to TV or whatever. But I think, Meisty, to hear what you're saying, that the Panthers can muddy it up, keep it close. There will be rain. I'm looking at the forecast. There's some chance for thunderstorms and raining and stuff. And, not that the Panthers do want to be run first, I think, with Dowdle and Hubbard. But the Rams have a solid run game. Obviously, they have really good quarterback and good pass game. But they have the number one run game by DVOA. Yeah, the number one rush offense by DVOA, number one pass offense as well. So they are well rounded. They can handle a wet rainy game. I think they might be getting some O-linemen back. They've been missing some O-linemen.
Even Puka's banged up, though. That team is banged up.
Yeah, he's going to make some ridiculous catch.
And Devontae Adams is back.
Something crazy. Yeah, Devontae's coming back. Yeah, Terrence Ferguson, their O-lineman, and Kevin Dotson actually may not play.
That's
huge.
They could get back anyone, unless it's
Ferguson's actually the tight end, but Dotson O-line might be an issue, but I think they'll.
You know why you confuse that? The Rams is all the 13 personnel, tight end, offensive line, same thing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Listen,
Basically,
the only
there's no
person,
lineman.
unless you're getting Falele back, that's like the only news you don't want to hear when you're like, oh, an offensive lineman is coming back. But usually when an offensive lineman is coming back, it's good news, unless you're the Ravens.
Picks. I'll give my pick real quick, and then we'll move on to the more exciting games. But the Panthers are one of the worst teams to ever make by DVOA to make the playoffs. They're like top 10 or 11 worst teams ever. Um, so I just don't. I mean, obviously, the Beastquake can happen. The who is it? The Commanders kept it close
But
with the Bucks, and yeah, so like it's possible, but I don't see Bryce Young and Pat McMillan being able to make enough plays, and Stafford will probably be a little bit more careful with the ball, and they should win this game. I think they could even cover 10.5 is crazy though because like they'll probably win by 10, but I think they'll cover. I'm gonna take
I'm
Rams to win and cover because they'll win by like 13 or so.
agree. I agree with the cover. Picking Rams to cover.
Panthers. You guys know that, though.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, he
No,
picks
All
a good
right.
pen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking the Panthers to win, baby. They're actually going to cover the 10.5 on the other side. We flip it all the way. They're going to cover minus
Yeah.
10. No, that would be
Oh, they're gonna win by
crazy.
10. Yeah. Yeah. You should roll the line all the way back to Panthers minus 10. Yes, sir. All right. So Pisces 10 toes down. 10 toes down with the Panthers. It's awesome.
All in,
Okay.
baby.
Yeah,
Next
well, is
game.
that a catch? It's 10 toes down to catch. I don't know what the catch is anymore.
Who
So
knows?
I know we don't even know. Two 10 toes might not be a catch, or maybe a catch, but two heels we don't know,
Without a
or
football move, it's probably not a catch.
yeah, 30 toes because you get 3 feet and then not a football. Yeah,
There.
we don't even
it's
know. But
crazy.
this next game, I think one of the most exciting games of the weekend because it is a rivalry game. Third time they're meeting this weekend. Every single game, or of the last two, came down to either the last play with that DJ Moore touchdown pass from Caleb Williams in overtime, or one of the last plays where Keyshawn Nixon got the interception on Caleb Williams on fourth down in Green Bay. So the Bears won in Chicago, the Packers won in Green Bay, but this game, with the Bears being, the home team, the 2 seed, is in Chicago again. So the Packers are favored in this game as a road favorite against a 2 seed. Rocky, do you think that we see that Bears victory again at home, or the Packers going to be able to upset them, even though technically it's not an upset because they're a road favorite as the 7th seed in
Yeah,
Chicago?
it's an interesting spot. You're right to highlight that because listen, the Packers. If you would have told me 4 weeks ago that the Packers are favorites against the Bears, I think we all would have been like, no, duh, they should be only 1.5. That would have been the shock, right? But now that it's without Micah Parsons and Christian Watson banged up and Jordan Love banged up, so now people are like, well, maybe it'll be a little different. But listen, Jordan Love is back, okay, and he's got all of his receivers. Everyone's healthy. Might be a little banged up, but Christian Watson's going to be out there, and he's been the big play guy for them this year. And we've been waiting all year for Matthew Golden to get involved. Whether or not that happens, I mean, the bottom line is it's a prolific passing game. Like, if Jordan Love is throwing from a clean pocket, I do think that he can have a lot of success. I still think he is, again, when protected well and when in rhythm, one of the best quarterbacks in the league these last couple of years. And if he can show that upside, then the Packers do have a chance. However, if anyone looked at the bracket, I did pick the Bears. And there's a couple of reasons why. I think the Packers probably on paper have a better team. But last two games were really close. Kind of get a little lucky for the Bears last time. Like, we could easily be looking at a situation where the Bears lost both games, got the onside kick. When they did get lucky, though, Caleb Williams made his big plays. That when the blitz, who was it, Dante Moore, right? And on the fourth down, guy came off the edge, unblocked blitzer, and boom, chucked it to the corner of the end zone to tie the game. Then, of course, in overtime, nice downfield pass to DJ Moore to win the game. So, big time passes by Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter. And Colston Loveland, guys, I feel like I'm going back to Brock Bowers last year. Like, that's how good of a year he's been, okay? Just to read some of these numbers, it's really unbelievable. So, PFF has a WAR stat, which is very interesting. It's an NFL WAR stat. I don't know exactly how it works, but they kind of try to mimic the MLB WAR stat to the best degree possible. He's second in PFF WAR amongst tight ends, only to Trey McBride. And I was looking up a little bit. So first of all, he's coming off of two straight games of 90-plus yards. The last 2 weeks he's been really good. They started to target him a lot. Last week he had 10 receptions, 13 targets. That was a season high for him. 83.3 receiving grade this season, one of the highest. And he's been one of their probably most. He's been their go-to target. Like, yes, you have DJ Moore and Roma Dunze, and that's kind of been like their outside receivers, but when Colston Loveland gets involved in the offense, and I don't know if you guys were watching Sunday Night Football against the Niners, right? Chris Collinsworth couldn't stop talking about Colston Loveland. It was a love affair, literally. So I just thought of that right now. That's not bad. So yeah, get Colston Loveland involved. I think it could be more consistent of a passing game, right? Meaning, like, we all have seen the ups and downs of Caleb Williams throughout the season, and not playing well for a certain portion of the game, playing well for a certain portion of the game, and a lot of that is the boomer bust of DJ Moore and Adunze. But if you can get Colston Loveland in the middle of the field and give him 10 targets, then I think it could be a more consistent passing game. And that's why I do think that the Bears will go ahead and win this game. Very close, though. And don't, just because we've seen the Packers defense struggle the last few weeks, don't underestimate the power of that offense, because we forget very quickly in the NFL. It's a very much what have you done for me lately league, but we forget very quickly how we were talking about the Packers, one of the Super Bowl favorites, just a month ago. So don't forget that the Packers can certainly win this game, but I'm going to pick the Bears to upset, quote unquote, the Packers here.
I'm going to. I think I have the Bears in the pick, so I'm going to stick with the Bears. But most likely, like we've been talking about, this game is going to come down to the wire, and big time players make big time plays, especially for good coaches. And Ben Johnson is one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and I do believe that we will see another. Like you said, Rocky Loveland, he's going to play a huge factor. What can he do? The weather, it's gonna be interesting weather, actually. I know Yehuda probably wants to talk about that too, but it's gonna be chilly, not little snow possibly. So we'll see what really comes down. In Chicago, the weather can change in a second, so anything's really possible out there. The wind will be blowing, but at the end of the day, big time players make big time plays, and we have a lot of big players here. But the DJ Moore effect and the Colston Loveland effect, and even Cole Kmet makes big plays, and that defense is not good for the Bears, and I think that in the next couple of years they'll get a better defense, but right now that defense is not good. They can't put pressure. They can't. They can't. They get a lot of. They have a lot of They got like a lot of turnovers, but not enough to. That's why they got hot, was all those turnovers in the middle of the year. So we'll see what happens. But I do think the Bears find a way to win. I do think that their coaching is just so much better and now that Matt LaFleur is not a great coach. He is a great coach, and he could actually be fired off. So not fire. I don't know if they'll fire him or if he'll move on, but he's also another guy that we never really spoke about, that people are kind of waiting to see what happens if they get eliminated. So I actually looking forward to this game as well. Not as much as I'm looking forward as the Panthers and the Rams game. That's my favorite game of the week, obviously. But I do think that we're going to get a really good game here, and it's going to be a big rival, and it's going to be exciting. Saturday Night Football, it's a great night for football. Right after college football as well. It's going to be great. College football. Actually, college football is tonight and tomorrow night. So
Thursday and Friday, yeah.
Big game tonight. Yeah, tomorrow night's a big one. With Mendoza against.
We get playoff football tonight, tomorrow, tomorrow. No, sorry, tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, whatever amounts of 3 on Sunday, and football and Monday. I mean, we just get full on. If you're a football guy, this is your weekend. If you're if you're a football guy, this is your weekend. My weekend is usually in March or in April when Memorial Weekend, and you have all the other sports are going, and you get March Madness and all these other sports, and then all of a sudden it's like NASCAR. That to me is where I live my favorite weekend of the year. March Madness weekends. But this is going to be just another amazing weekend of sports.
Come on, you gotta push the football weekend in the NFL playoff, college football playoffs. Got to push that. Yeah, hyping it up. It's exciting. We get to see awesome rivalry Saturday night. I'm seeing like you said, might see a little bit of snow, a little bit of wind, 60%, but potentially up to 25, 30 degrees weather. So obviously both teams, Packers and Bears, are very used to cold weather, so shouldn't be anything new. But both teams, I think, actually are run first teams with good quarterbacks. So want them to be able to make good plays off of play action and on schedule. But I think Caleb Williams is the better quarterback off schedule. Obviously, we've seen Caleb has struggled at times with the on schedule plays. But when he can make magic with that unblocked blitzer, like you said, Rocky, and figure out a way to make a play, run around, maybe a little Mahomey. Look, a little Mahomey out there. Uh,
You have to be careful
College
when you make that
say.
comparison, because then people accuse you of comparing, saying Caleb Williams is as good as Patrick Mahomes, which is of course out of context.
He's
But
better than Patrick Mahomes. He's better than Patrick
Right.
Mahomes.
He's better. I mean, does Patrick Mahomes have a working ACL right now? I mean, like, let's be real. No,
Well, if he doesn't, then we might have a point.
Right now, today, Caleb Williams is better today.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
Maybe Mahomes is better on one leg.
Oh, one leg down, let's be real. Let's be real. So,
Right?
either way, like Mike said, the Bears' defense is really bad. They've been living off turnovers. They are, according to DVOA, it says like they create a lot of picks, but they don't have that many passes defended, and like they fumbles are super lucky, or I mean they are kind of lucky, but also kind of random, and interceptions aren't as random, but like they're still just 24 in pass defense with all their turnovers. So
No
like
rushing
they
ability.
live and die by the big play, as they say. And so, yeah, it says they're turning statistically improbable number of passes into defensive. They're just 16th with how many passes defense they have, but lead the league with the most picks with 23. So the
Crazy.
question is, can they sustain that? I say no. Can they do that for one game? I say yes. And I think Jordan Love can, just throw some like asinine interceptions, something Brett Favre in his head just takes over and he goes, throw that ball. Christian he said Christian Watson down there somewhere, just chucks it, and then Jalen Johnson is there waiting for
Did
it.
someone say
Kevin
Christian
Byard is
Watson?
there waiting for it. Yeah. And so listen, if that doesn't happen, if the Packers protect the ball, Packers will win this game. And I'm not saying that the Packers have no chance, and I'm not saying that there's no way for them. Like I believe that the Panthers have no chance to win their game. But without Micah, their declining defense, they haven't won a game in a month. Obviously, last week the rest of their starters, but I'm going to take the Bears because even though they just came off a loss, but it was a weird game because like they were half playing their starters, half not. But Bears are going to be without even more defensive starters. CJ Gardner-Johnson is going to be out with concussion. Troy Ansha. No, he's good. He's good for he's a locker room leader. He's a chutzpahniak. He talks a lot of smack. He can get in the head of the other team. Troy
My kind of guy.
like rotational. Yeah, yes, exactly. Rotational D lineman guy is out. So like Bears defense going to be as bad as it usually will be. I think this is going to be a little bit more of a shootout than people think, but also a game where they want to run the ball. So it's like kind of contrasting stuff. But ultimately, I'm going to take the Bears to win. So obviously, I'm taking them to cover because the Packers are favored. And I'm going against my favorite stat. The Packers are the better team by DVOA. Going against my nerd stat to take the Packers because I think home field advantage a little bit and just general trends of the Packers decline right now without Michael Parsons. I'm going to take Bears to win straight up in a very close game, but would not be surprised. The Bears force 0 turnovers if the Packers end up winning by 7. But right now, going to take the Bears. What do you think, Rocky?
Yeah, I got the Bears. I got the Bears covering. Well, I got the Bears winning straight up, so I'm definitely gonna have them cover the 1.5.
Yeah. Meisty, you're agreeing, right?
You got the Bears,
You
right?
got Bears still.
Yeah, I'm on the Bears. And I mean, like again, the Bears for sure cover, and I think that they win. Like I think the Packers are going to win. It's going to be by a late field goal, Caleb Williams turnover, something just We haven't. Listen, Caleb Williams has been one of those guys. Does the NFL have a most improved player?
Yeah, they do.
Not that he
Comeback
should be the
player.
most
Comeback
improved
player of the
player.
year.
No, that's comeback. Is there most?
It's the same thing.
NBA has
I don't
most
think.
improved, but no, it's
Yeah,
not
the
the same.
NBA. I don't think the NFL. Yeah, the NFL does not have one. I think if they had one, he would definitely be a candidate for that spot. Like he has been one of the most improved players. But I'm trying to think of other players that from last year to
So
this
Yeah,
year.
but
That,
it's not unprecedented for a guy to
pro
be to go from rookie year to second year and be much better. Like Drake May has done that, just that.
Drake
So
May. Drake May would be the best.
right,
Drake May, I guess, is the guy that would be considered the most
right.
improved from last year to this year. After obviously, yes, correct. That would be right. But to a
pro
candidate, I
football,
wouldn't say that.
yeah, Pro Football Writers of America, they do a most improved. It's not an official NFL thing, but I'm
Oh,
seeing a
interesting.
list of most improved.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's not.
I would say
Drake
Caleb
May
is
would be it,
candidate.
but a candidate, not a winner, because obviously Drake may exist, and we'll get into him.
Yeah, and there is precedent. I'm looking. Jared Goff won most improved player of the year his second year
Interesting.
of of being quarterback. He had a really bad rookie year, even though he was number one pick or number two. Right? Was he number one or was Carson Wentz?
He was
He was
one.
number one.
Wentz was two, I think. Right?
He
Yeah.
was one, right? Yeah. So Jared
It
Goff
has
being
always
number
been
one and
second.
have a stinky year, and then come back and have a good year and be most improved. And because some people say, "Oh, Caleb's a one overall," you expect this from him, but
Right.
yeah. Either way, we'll see. We'll see. I could see the argument, but I would probably pick Drake May for it. All right, now coming up to, I think this is my favorite game of the weekend for
Agreed.
the hate watch, for the hate watch and for the storylines, for the excitement, and obviously the what do you say? I don't want to say casual fan, but like the layman NFL fan didn't realize that Jacksonville had an NFL franchise, and so the Jacksonville
But they
Jaguars
moved to
get the.
London.
I know, right? I thought they lived right. Shad Khan, he moved them, right? So they get the 1 o'clock Sunday, which ironically I think is, I mean, it's about as like least shaykhs, least relevant game as the 4:30 game on Saturday. Say the 4:30 game probably is less relevant because football isn't always on Saturday. People know the 1 o'clock, but I think the 1 o'clock game also on the wild card weekend is also probably the second quote unquote least relevant game of the season and of the weekend. And like it shouldn't be. This game is awesome. Bills Jags, two awesome quarterbacks, um, incredible opportunity for the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, as we've gone over many times. No Mahomes, no Burrow, no Lamar. But football is a team sport, and we're going to start to find out, Meisty. Like one guy doth not win a football game for you. Sometimes in very very rare possibilities, it is possible. But Icy, do you think Josh Allen and that fourth worst run defense of his, the Bills, do you think that they got a shot in this game?
I think they do. I think that Josh Allen will like go full on Superman on us and um, pull something out of the hat. But we'll see what happens. Like, again, I agree with you. This is a great game. Jacksonville is the hottest team in the NFL right now. There's an
Yep.
argument. I mean, there's somewhat of an argument for not that he's going to, but there's an argument for T-Law to win an MVP or some sort of offensive player of the year award. Something that guy has been a balling lately. Got rid of turnover issues. Got rid of all that. It's gonna be a beautiful day in Jacksonville. Probably. I don't think it's gonna be raining. Maybe, but it's going to be a beautiful. That crowd can get wild. The pool. They have the pool out there. The jacuzzi. I don't know what it is going on up there, but that
Growing up.
city is ready. And again, I think I picked Buffalo to win. Excuse me. I picked Buffalo to win, but I mean, I would be ecstatic. I think that's a good word for it. Ecstatic if the Jaguars win. It would cause chaos in the coaching carousel. Right? He would have to be fired. Then you have like, do you go to the Ravens? Do you go to the Bills? Do you go to the Titans? Are a good coaching team. Like, I mean, not like the Titans have Cam Newton played very good the second half of the season. You have Miami that's now available. A lot of coaching, a lot of coaches on the move, and it's going to be exciting. I think that would actually, for for the human. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm watching soccer. So I think that would
No
all
shot. Here.
cause. Yeah, no. So I think it would cause more chaos, and I'm a big fan of chaos. So I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that, and so I would love for Jacksonville to win. It'd make me a very, very happy person to see Jacksonville win. Um, but and I do not like Buffalo, but I think the Bills find a way to win. And like I said, it's the playoffs. It's a new season, So just because you had the worst rush defense, all of a sudden now they can have the best rush defense. And Jacksonville, yes, they have a good running back, but that game comes through Trevor Lawrence's throwing ability and his ability to make big plays. And it's crazy. As soon as Travis Hunter, by the way, it was all Travis Hunter. As soon as he got hurt, that team turned. So MVP Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I think also the Jacoby Myers trade was a big one.
absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
true too.
Jacoby Myers has gotten at least 6 targets in the last 8 weeks. And remember, the Jaguars collapsed against the Texans 9 games ago. Lost that game. Since then, how many games have the Jaguars lost, my friends? Does anyone know?
1,
0.
0,
They won
1.
8 straight to end the season.
0.
And so Trevor Lawrence has been really hot in that stretch, extremely hot in that stretch. Because again, 11 straight, not these
It was
last 8.
second half MVP.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there's definitely an argument for that. So the Bills love to play too high safety, and that's going to be the big thing for Trevor Lawrence because the last 8 games he has absolutely shredded too high safety. 84-4 passing grade, 15 big time throws, which is second in the league, first in the league actually. That's number 1 in the league. And Trevor Lawrence, his specialty the last 7-8 games, whatever, has been thrown between that 20-30 yard range, which is considered the deep range, right? Anything 20 yards or more is considered a deep pass. So 20-30 yards, Trevor Lawrence has absolutely shredded defenses. The Bills' entire identity on defense has been bend but don't break. We won't give up big plays. Trevor Lawrence, all he's done is create big plays in the passing game. So it's going to be such an interesting matchup. And guys, low-key Parker Washington has just been absolutely tearing it apart, especially the last 3 weeks. I was looking at his stats just the last 3 weeks, okay? 19 catches, 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he had at least a catch of 29 yards or more in each of those games. This man is creating big plays at all levels of the field. Of course, like you mentioned, Yehuda, since Jacoby Myers has come into this passing game, they barely lost a game. So there's no question that two-headed monster of Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington has been way better than everyone expected it would be. Trevor Lawrence playing like number 1 overall pick Trevor Lawrence. Parker Washington like a legitimate number 1 threat. Jacoby Myers a legitimate number 2 threat he's supposed to be. And we're talking about a very good Jaguars offense. So run game hasn't quite been there in the way they thought with Travis Etienne before the season. But, I mean, that passing game is explosive. My one concern for the Jaguars is you're relying on Trevor Lawrence to stay hot, which historically and throughout his career has not always been such a reliable formula for winning. So will it show its head in this game? That's, I think, what we're all going to have to look for. But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to this matchup, and I agree with you, Yehuda. I think they should have swapped this with Chargers-Pats Sunday night, in my opinion.
I don't know why. Like this is clearly the better game. I mean, all games are going to be pretty solid, but like both teams, the Jaguars are top 6 in total offense, top 7 in total defense. Bills are top 10 total defense. This is by points per game. Bills top 4. Like, I think it's just like it's a very unlucky draw for the Bills. Like the Patriots happen to get good this year, win division. Bills we expected the Bills to win the division, and they would be hosting this game or like hosting Houston. Is kind of what we expected. The Bills to be like the 2 or 3 seed and hosting.
Or if the Texans lost last week, which they almost did, they would be going to Pittsburgh, which would be a better proposition for them as well.
Or Buffalo going to be in the 5 and going to Pittsburgh. And we saw them just beat down Pittsburgh, be able to run all over them, and actually hold back the Pittsburgh run game and Aaron Rodgers. So it's a little unfortunate because one of these teams, I would say both of them. I mean, I don't know if the Bills team is good enough to win Super Bowl, definitely good enough to get to a Super Bowl, but they have the quarterback for sure to get there. And the Jags are playing really good football. They're very hot right now. Trevor Lawrence is making lots of big plays. They're number 3 in weighted DVOA, meaning they're the top 3 team after only Seattle and the Rams in how they're playing right now. So they're hot. And one of them is going to be eliminated after Sunday. So bit unlucky for both of them, I would say. But I just think that the Bills' run defense will cost them. And obviously, if they start bowing up, I think they know that. Like the same deal that the Ravens Bills last year, that the Bills' run defense was something to be preyed upon, and Derrick Henry was only able to run for like 70 to 80 yards or so, which is low by his standards. And not saying Travis Etienne is Derrick Henry by any sort of the line, but the the Jaguars, if they can get that run game going, and then hitting those passes, like you said, to Parker Washington, Jacoby Myers, and then maybe even Brian Thomas shows up. The guy who burned a lot of us in, in fantasy this year, definitely.
For
Um,
me.
uh, yeah, so maybe they'll get some production. Crazy in the background. So uh, I have Bills by 1.5 right now. Is that's what you're seeing as the
That's
line?
what I got also.
Bills by
Yeah,
1.5.
Bills by 1.5.
Okay. If you watched the bracket, you'll see I picked the Jags a little bit. I do believe that the Jags can do it, but that is a little biased because I think it would be absolutely hilarious to watch the Bills get first rounded when
This is the year.
everybody's talking about this is the year, no Mahomes. But it's incredible to me because then you'll finally be able to drill into people. I mean, obviously, some people still won't learn, but they will learn like football is a team game. One guy cannot do it all. One guy does not do it all. The quarterback gets all the credit, obviously, if they win, and he takes all the blame if they lose, even if it's not his fault. But every game comes down to all 22, yes, and special teams all 33. But it comes down to the entire team. And Liam Cohen, I'll say, I don't really know how he is as a coach. Obviously, he's a very good offensive coordinator. I do think he is a good, solid coach. Like he's been able to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence and Parker Washington, Jacob Myers. And I think McDermott is not a very good coach in these moments. And like Micey said, chaos could be coming. And I do believe if the Bills get first rounded, Sean McDermott got to go. And it's just like a Raven situation. Sometimes you need a new voice. He's a very good coach, but sometimes you just need to change it up. But I'm going to take Jacksonville to win straight up, so I'm taking them to cover. Meisty, what do you think? How's this game going? Are we rooting for chaos? I mean, I know you're rooting for chaos, but is chaos going to
Yeah, I'm
happen?
rooting for guys. I have definitely winning as I predicted in the bracket filler. But again, like I said, if we can get a Jacksonville win here, that would cause so much chaos and give Liam Cohn, that boost and Trey Lance. I was a Trevor Lawrence fan when he first came into the league, and he kind of didn't show up, and I was like, all right, well, on to the next guy, and now he's
Yeah,
here, and they were comparing him so much to like legends and being like, oh, he's the next big guy, and he's got Peyton
It's a
Manning
huge
vibes and
prospect.
that huge prospect, and then he didn't show, and now it's kind of coming to life, and we'll see, Jim. Here we go.
Yes, here we go, Jim game.
one thing I will say, Cam Little going to hit a game-winning. It's not even going to be 6 yards. It's going to be
72
56.
yarder,
No,
72.
56 yarder. 56 yarder. They're going to kick the ball off, and Sean McDermott he's not the best situationally. He's going to kick the ball deep into the end zone instead of
We
kicking it short.
Do you
yeah.
think
Short
Tyler
with
Loop would feel
the
better if
25.
Cam Little missed the game-winning field goal from 44 yards?
No, no.
No, but
I think
no,
yes,
but
he would
I
feel
do
a
want
little
to
better,
say,
but listen.
having a
He's going to kick it into the end zone, and so then the Jags get the ball at the 35, and then all they have to do is complete two passes for 8 yards, and then 15 yards, and then they're already on the other side of the field. Kim Little's range, it's nothing, and he's going to knock down the game winner.
it's so big to have a good kicker. Like, not that Tyler was bad, but just to have a huge kicker, it's so big for you.
Yeah, according to Cam Newton, a quarterback only goes as far as his kicker goes. That's what he said. So, anyway, I'm also so I think on the one hand, Josh Allen, like the numbers are down this year, right? Turnover worthy play rate is 4.7. He's never had one lower than 6, just to put into perspective in his career. So less big plays this year. However, his lowest lowest big time throw rate of his career. I'm sorry, but it's also his lowest turnover worthy throw rate of his career, 2.4. So actually, an underrated trend with Josh Allen in his career is that he has been limiting the mistakes since that 2022 year, where we're like Allen's boom or bust, bunch of big plays, bunch of mistakes in there. It hasn't really been the case with him. That turnover-worthy play rate has gone down and down and down since 2022, and it's down to 2.4, which is much better than Lamar's this year. Now Lamar didn't have a good season, but just to put into perspective, it's one of the highest, one of the best in the league with a quarterback of his volume. Getting rid of the ball in 3.15 seconds, one of the slowest in the league. So does he trust these receivers? I don't think so. I think that's a big problem with him, but he takes care of the ball. When Dalton Kincaid is on the field and Dawson Knox has been blocking well and catching the ball well, the two tight end sets have been really good for the Bills. And if they can attack the middle of the field, which I think is the Jaguars' biggest weakness, I think they can win this game. And that's what I think is going to happen. Listen, at the end of the day, when it comes to the playoffs, you got to pull your tricks out of your bag. And you have a really good tight end duo. You don't have great receivers on the outside. You play to your strengths, win the game. So I'm going to pick the Bills to cover.
So you're taking them straight up or just to cover?
I'm going to tell them to cover the 1.5.
If they're minus 1.5.
Yeah, 1.5. I'll take them to cover the 1.5. Right. Although if they win by 1, they wouldn't cover, but I would take them to cover.
I think with the turnover worthy plays and stuff that you're talking about, they have kind of like made Josh Allen into a quick pass. Joe Brady calls these like quick pass, quick screens because they don't trust the receivers to win downfield, and that's why he doesn't have as many big
but
plays
his time to throw is up.
As many turnover.
That's the interesting thing. His time to throw is up.
I'd say because they try to stay within structure of those quick plays and quick passes, and then when they realize, oh, it's not working, then Josh Allen has to run around and do his silly, where he thinks he's Lamar Jackson, then he loses 18 yards on a sack.
But in the past, when he's done that, you're right. His pressure to sack rate is up. But in the past, when he's done that, right. So that's a part of the maturity of an NFL player. I mean, listen, Lamar did that early in his career as well, right? Ran around in the pocket and then chucked it down the field, and it gets intercepted. That happens all the time. But part of understanding the game is that when is it worth it to throw the ball down the field, and when is it not? And Josh Allen's just gotten more calculated at making those decisions. That's it. So we're seeing a smarter Josh Allen, right? We're not seeing a Josh Allen that's able to attack down the field as much because he doesn't have Stephon Diggs anymore. But we're seeing a smarter Josh Allen. So it doesn't make up for it, but at least it compensates to some extent.
Trevor Lawrence and the Grills. Meisty, real quick. Trevor Lawrence and the Grills. Jags by 30. You saw that picture?
Yeah. I know that it's a little off topic, but the Ravens have requested to interview Robert Saleh from the 49ers.
No, I said not Robert Saleh.
Rocky, they put you in this. How can we make Rocky more miserable? So
how do we make Rocky mad?
No, this is my favorite tweet from Adam Schefter about an hour ago. Bucs announced offensive coordinator Josh Grisner, special teams coordinator Thomas McGaughey, quarterbacks coach Thaddeus Lewis, cornerbacks coach Kevin Ross, and defensive line coach Charlie Strong are all out. They've just fully said
Clean
everyone out. Lean.
Everyone but the head coach. It's very funny. So it's like basically.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if they're like,
it's like false start. Everyone but the center.
Yeah, but I guess we're just saying that it's not his fault, that it's everyone else's fault, which is so funny because I don't know. He's not a good head coach. I mean, he's okay.
I know.
Weird.
Very interesting that he's escaping blame right now. But we're gonna go on to the next game. Also, potentially the game of the weekend because of the strength on strength, the Niners and the Eagles. Niners really good offense, notwithstanding their performance against Seattle. The Eagles really good defense, and then the two movable object versus the stoppable force. The Niners defense versus the Eagles offense. So this will be a very exciting game. I'm hyped to see. I think the last time Eagles Niners played was the Niners whooped them. In a regular season game, and that was, I think, in Philly. Let me check. They played in Philly, yeah. So, but then the time prior was the NFC Championship where Brock Purdy got hurt. So again, this game being in Philly, and obviously that raucous environment, raucous crowd, West Coast team coming all the way over
City of
to the East
love.
Coast. Although it's crazy that city is called that, but. Yeah, it's a 4:30 game, so it's like a 1:30 start for West Coast, so it shouldn't be too weird for them. So Rocky, what do you think? Which team is going to overwhelm the other with their strength on strength? Niners or Eagles?
That's the question in this game because you're right. It is strength on strength, but I think each team could also exploit the other's weaknesses, right? So we know that the Niners' the weakness is the defensive side of the ball. Speaking of Robert Saleh, by the way, and what do the Eagles love to do? They love to run the ball. Now, Saquon Barkley's numbers are down significantly this year. 4.1 yards per carry this year. You know how many yards per carry he had last year? 5.8. That's if you can do some math, 1.7 yards per carry less, which is very significant, obviously. That's just Saquon Barkley, but the running game as a whole has been not nearly as efficient. Jalen Hurts, much like Lamar Jackson, hasn't run the balls efficiently this year. Read option hasn't been there quite as much. So the Eagles' offense, as we've discussed, just disappears for certain portions of the game. But 49ers' run defense is very, very bad. So this might be the week to sit back there in the shotgun, get Saquon Barkley going, get Jalen Hurts going in the run game, and remember, also, the Niners don't blitz much. They won't stack the box much, right? Robert Saleh is like Zach Orton that way. He doesn't like to blitz, even though he has no pass rushers anymore. But and now the Ravens want to hire him. But anyway, I digress. So point being that the Niners run defense is very poor. They don't like to blitz much. They won't stack the box much. I think the Eagles will have an opportunity to run the ball a lot and ultimately have success on the ground. But I don't trust the Eagles. I don't trust them. On paper, the Eagles should win this game. They have a better unit on defense. They have a better unit on offense. The Niners have a really good offense. But at the same time, the Eagles at the top of their game, we saw last year, they're a Super Bowl winning team. They're a Super Bowl winning offense to create big plays to A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside. This is a really good offense that has not played really well this year. So ultimately, it's going to be an interesting matchup. But the Eagles got to run the ball a little better in this game because I think that's going to be the weakness to exploit for the Niners in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you, Rocky, a lot there. First of all, I do not trust the Eagles in any sort of way. But like I said, they always find ways to win. But I do think that the 49ers are just a better team all around when it comes to quarterback play. Even though Jalen Hurts is the Super Bowl winning quarterback, there's something going on in Philly that we're not, this is a credit to the team, I guess, that they kind of keep it under the carpet and they kind of keep it in house and keep their issues for the most part, besides for AJ Brown posting weird things here and there. They keep it in house. They don't really spill out what's going on behind the scenes. The 49ers, on the other hand, we know what's going on there, and they are buzzing. I think they would love to play at home in the Super Bowl if they can make that happen. So I think that I don't have much on this game because it is a great game. And if the Eagles lose, we're having an emergency podcast with Morty Essie immediately
Instant reaction
after the show. And I'm gonna call the chat 30,000 times till that guy answered. I'm gonna ring him.
If we can get Morty on, we should do a live stream for this one. If we can get Morty on.
I wish, but I don't think so. And he didn't come in. I'm not going to actually do that because he didn't do that to me after the Ravens lost. I didn't look at my messages from him. It's been a minute.
We did it to ourselves.
I don't think he did. So, yeah, we did it to ourselves. That's true. But I do think that I think that this is going to be a very, very interesting game.
Yeah, agreed. Tight game. It's gonna be a good matchup.
Eagles minus 4.5 right now. It looks like it started at Eagles minus 3.5 or minus 2.5.
It's actually DraftKings currently has it 5.5.
5.5. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, 5.5 seems like a little much because I think that the Eagles probably win by 3 or 4. Because best unit on the field is probably the Eagles defense. It's going to be awesome to watch Vic Fangio team it up versus Kittle and potentially Ricky Pearsall and CMC Brock Purdy. But Purdy got hit hard on that last play of the game when the Seahawks kind of crunched him, meeting at the quarterback. He got a little smacked. They have a huge injury. Trent Williams still didn't practice yesterday, Wednesday. Don't have his injury status yet. But if he's out, then you got to go Eagles. Like Trent Williams being out is such a huge deal against this pass rush and this defense. Ricky Pierce also didn't practice. Kittle's limited. Yeah, McCaffrey's resting. So like they have so many injuries, and obviously that was a huge element of their entire season this year. If Shanahan somehow would have pulled that off and gotten a 1 seed, I would have instant vote for Coach of the Year. Like
Legend.
incredible. Yes, would have been amazing. But unfortunately, sometimes you just run out of dudes. And yeah, that's why like Salah's struggling for sure on defense, but like they just had so many injuries. You can't blame it all on him. Every single one of their linebackers that they had at the start of the season, including the depth guys, got hurt and were out. They're
They
starting.
should blitz
like,
a little more
30.
then. I mean, on the contrary,
They
if they're
did,
if they're
100%
limited
should
up
blitz.
front, why are you putting out a 4-man rush every single solitary play, no matter the situation? So that's Zach Orr frustrated the heck out of me, but Robert Saleh does a very similar thing. So you're limited in talent wise, so you have to scheme up and disguise a little more, and he hasn't done that.
It's because it's backups, and like
It's hard
the
to blitz with those guys.
Blitz
Yeah.
comes with a lot of communication, and then you're in the wrong gap and something, and then it's just a muddy gap, and then somebody's open.
You're right. The Ravens have less excuse with Kyle Hamilton, but you're right about the Niners. Yeah,
I would agree. I would
Right.
say that the Ravens, got to be blitzing more. Like they had people in the back end.
Oh, the Ravens don't play
figure
anymore,
it
so
out.
they don't listen more.
But yeah, they're done. So I think I still believe in the there's serious decline in the Eagles' offense, but I still believe in the talent on that team. Like Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl MVP. He's a good player. They still have AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Saquon is clearly limited. O-line, and he's proving Rocky's thing about O-line being the real the real
Yes.
contributor towards a running back success. So I'm like, oh no. Rocky's like, oh, I told you.
I don't need to prove it; it's a fact. So
Yeah, but Rocky's like, yeah, what are we talking? Like, it's obvious, but yeah. So I still think that they should be able to do enough against the Niners' beleaguered, beat up defense, and all the talk about Fred Warner may come back NFC Championship, Super Bowl if they make it. Unfortunately, I think he's going to be back just a couple of weeks too late because they're gonna get eliminated first round. There was somebody who I'm trying to run a bracket pool, right, with friends and stuff, and he sends me his bracket. I already made my bracket, so I'm not looking at other people's brackets to then make my own. But he sent me his bracket, and he had Eagles going all the way. I'm like, I don't know, their offense really struggling. He's like, trust me, bro. They've been sitting on stuff.
Save
like
him.
they've been running basic offense. I'm like, you are giving Sirianni way too much credit, bro. He is.
What is
not
this,
as
Andy
good.
Reid saving your best for the playoffs?
Yeah, yeah. Come on, bro. He is not Andy Reid. Like, I know he beat Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, but like, no way, dude. But maybe Sirianni's got something. But yes, I do believe, though, if they do get eliminated by the 49ers, there could be some serious calls for Sirianni's job. And then that would also become one of the most enticing jobs. Imagine if Eagles and Bills lose first round, and both of those jobs.
Chaos, baby, chaos.
That'd be bad for the
absolute
Ravens.
chaos.
That'd be bad for the Ravens because the Ravens
would be bad.
have the by far the most enticing opening right now. If the Eagles and Bills open up, those become very, very enticing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I think
no. Look,
I know Philly's reactionary.
Yeah.
I think Philly's reactionary, but I don't think they would fire Sirianni unless it was like a really bad loss for like 4-6 or something, which I don't see happening. But Buffalo, I do believe, will fire McDermott if they lose in the first round. But anyway, this game I'm gonna go Eagles, but the Niners are gonna cover, especially if we're talking 5.5. Even 4.5, I think the Niners will cover. Eagles will win on a close game by 3 or 4. What do you got, Rocky? What are you thinking?
Yeah, so if anyone looked at my bracket, I won't give away the rest of it. You'll have to watch the video. But for this particular game, I am going to pick the Niners. I think Brock Purdy, again, been really good this season. And in his limited playing, right? Mac Jones came in, everyone's like, you don't need Brock Purdy. Well, Brock Purdy's really elevated this offense. And I talked before about Trevor Lawrence between 20 and 30 yards, his efficiency. Brock Purdy between 10 and 20 yards, which is considered the intermediate range. Third best passing grade in the league. And listen, the Eagles, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, amazing. What a duo. But Adoree Jackson's been attacked this year. Reed Blankenship has not had a good season. There are weaknesses on this defense in the passing game, and I think that's more in the intermediate range of the field. If you can attack those guys, go away from Cooper and Mitchell, and go toward Adoree Jackson, he's been attacked, and he really has given up a lot of big plays this season. So I think that Brock Purdy will take advantage of it, and the Niners will upset the Eagles in the city of brotherly love.
And the city of brotherly love, I got the 49ers winning as well. Rocky loved that. Yeah, no, I have the Niners coming to town as well. But again, if the Eagles have something up their sleeve, this is the typical time when the Eagles show up and everyone's like, "Oh my God, where did that come from?" But this is exactly where it comes from, and when it all kind of starts to happen for them.
Yeah, crazy times would go down. Eagles lose. We'd have to get that emergency podcast, but it could happen. But I think Niners are going to absolutely run out of guys. So we go on to Sunday Night Football. I think the power of the brand. Waiting all day for Sunday night. Honestly, no. I've been waiting all day to go do my laundry.
I was waiting for football, baby. I saw football.
Yeah, just enjoyed two awesome games: Jags, Bills, and Eagles, Niners. No, but
this is going to end up being the closest game, by the way, of the day. You know that's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. We got the Patriots back. Yeah, Vrabel turned him around. May, potential MVP candidate, against the Harbaugh coach, the one Harbaugh still coaching in the NFL, beat up Chargers team with a really good quarterback, though, who is honestly, the numbers aren't there, but like for the amount of stuff that he has had to do to drag this team to a playoff berth with their O-line injuries and everything, Herbert obviously he's not going to get any MVP votes, but like dude's playing really good, really solid for how much he's getting absolutely harassed back there. But Meisty, are the 2 seed Pats, are they going to be able to keep it going, or are we going to see some first playoff game jitters? Some little overconfidence, maybe.
I hope so. Yeah, I would really like to see the Chargers move on here. I think that the Chargers are a better team than what their record shows, and I think that they're better overall. But obviously, the Patriots have been, content having an MVP on their side. They have a lot of wins, and they were, contending for the 1 seed all year. But in my heart, I hope the Chargers win. I love Jim Harbaugh, and I love Justin Herbert's a great quarterback, and the Chargers have been through it all over the last couple of years, 2 years, whatever it was when I called it. Crazy that I have that. We have to post that video with the Chargers again in the playoffs, where I said that the Chargers would be up 29-0 or whatever it was, and that they would lose 32-20 or whatever the score was.
You went viral
at the time.
You went viral.
Yeah. I think it's like I said it was 20. It's gonna be 28-0, and then they're at half or whatever, and then they're gonna lose. And that's exactly how it played out. And I don't think that's gonna happen here. I think that for the Chargers to win, they kind of just have to play. Just kind of play. Let's see, whether in New England, really Foxborough, but in Foxborough this weekend. Foxborough. Sorry, I'm just in the middle of checking that out. This weekend, Foxborough. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be nighttime, but it's going to be a gorgeous.
A sunny 40 degrees.
Yeah, well, it's Sunday night, so it's going to be a little chillier, but still football weather. If you're above 25 degrees, I think that's football weather. But I think we're going to have an interesting night game football. I think that the Chargers, even with all their problems, hopefully find a way to win. I don't think they do. My bracket shows the Patriots winning here, but if I would be the same as the Jaguars, just very happy for the Chargers and their zero fan base to actually their one fan, that Asian lady, I think it is, who's their only fan to actually win this game.
I went to a Chargers Ravens game 2 years ago in SoFi, and when I say there were more Ravens fans, by the way, Ravens fans don't travel that well, right? This is for every away team, but that's the only one I've been to, only Chargers game I've been to in SoFi. I don't think Chargers fans exist. There are some Rams fans here. I don't think Chargers fans exist.
I want to say, I want to say though, they don't exist. They exist a little bit in San Diego, but they don't exist. But that helps them on the road. They play on the
Because they
road
don't care.
all
They play on
year.
the road all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They
Yeah, to
don't
some
care
extent.
about the noise. They don't care about the fans. But to them, it's all, yeah. And Jim Harbaugh is a good coach, and he's gonna build that out of them. And was I have here, according to DraftKings Sportsbook, 3.5. So even Vegas is giving the Chargers a lot of credit here. To be like, hey, we don't really believe like this game should. I'm gonna take it, but the Patriots should be like 7, 8 point favorites. But even I think Vegas knows like, hey, this game could be a lot closer than what we're expecting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I agree it could be closer. Anything over 3 means that the other team is relatively significantly favored. So 3.5 is a big difference to 3. That means that the Patriots will win by a touchdown, basically, because it's generally only 3 or 7. But so, or 2 field goals or something like that. Just the way the NFL is nowadays with going forward and taking shots to the end zone and stuff like that. But yeah, I agree with you, Micey. I want the Chargers to win this game, not just because I live in LA, but also because the Chargers have been so long the team that they go into the playoffs playing pretty well, and they can never quite get over that hump. Not even one game. They just win one game. So, and this is a good opportunity for them because they're going up against Drake May in his first playoff game, a guy that's playing really well this season. But at the same time, the Patriots have shown their vulnerabilities on offense. Defense is pretty good throughout the season. We've always said Patriots haven't really beaten anyone good except for the Bills. They've only beaten one team with a winning record all season, guys, which is remarkable, obviously. And, you could have talked about last week, one of the easiest schedules of all time. So Drake May's got his big playability. And on the one hand, you'd think Patriots will win. Chargers can't cover that. Well, they could, because the Chargers don't give up big plays this season. That's been their MO all year. On the other hand, you're going to say, well, the Chargers, I mentioned last week, what did I say? It was the second worst pass blocking grade in the league. They might know they're last. Second half of the season, they're dead last. The whole season, I think they're second last. Anyway, second half of the season, second last pass blocking grade, worst pass blocking grade in the league. So you think, oh, easy pickings. Rush the passer, 4-man rush, set your DBs back there. No problem. You can play a base defense and you can beat the Chargers. Well, I'm not as listen. Harold Landry, Milton Williams are good players. I'm not as confident in them exploiting the Chargers' offensive line as I am in Will Anderson and Nell Hunter doing it potentially next week, or some of the Nick Bonito. Well, wouldn't be Will Anderson, but Nick Bonito, and the Broncos pass rush doing it the next week. So I think this is a game where Justin Herbert can step up in the pocket, extend plays, and create plays on his own, which he's been doing all season. And this is an exploitable matchup for a team that struggles up front. You don't have to win in the trenches to win this game, right? If you have to win in the trenches, the Chargers might have a hard time. But you don't. You can go outside zone, which the Chargers have done a good job with this year. They're good at running outside the numbers, not so good running inside the numbers. And Justin Herbert does a good job against average pass rushers when he can extend plays and create big plays down the field. So that's why I actually am going to pick the Chargers to win this game. I'm picking a ton of upsets this weekend. It's absolutely crazy. I don't see this as so much of an upset. To me, this is a toss-up of a game. But I think the Chargers will win this game and, of course, win the game, cover 3.5, finally get that win. Jim Harbaugh's got to get over the hump eventually here in Los Angeles. Jim Harbaugh's the getting over the hump coach. That's what he does franchises. He gets them over the hump. They might not win a Super Bowl, but they'll get over the hump, whatever that hump is for that respective team.
For the Chargers to then play the Broncos next week as
Yes.
the 17th divisional game.
Love it.
That'll be awesome. But I do want the Chargers to win as well because it would be hilarious because all the Patriots fans think they're back and Drake May's the next Tom Brady and the dynasty didn't die. It was just taking a break for a few weeks or a few years. But I just think the Patriots are playing really well, and I know they haven't played a lot of tough opponents, but the Chargers O-line is just so bad, and culture of the Chargers is losing in playoffs, unfortunately. And I want to believe that Jim Harbaugh changed that culture, get over the hump, but they are so injured. If they had Alt and Slater, the Chargers are doing the right thing. They're building through the defense and they're building through the trenches. They're building it right. They just been crazy injured. Obviously, I don't think they would be a 7 seed if they have those guys because they probably would have been able to compete more in the division and or at least be a better seed. But it's amazing that they've even made seven seed with all these injuries. It speaks to their toughness and mental toughness and stuff. But even the injury report, obviously it's just a Wednesday practice. Omarion Hampton already didn't practice Wednesday. Some O linemen, Deculus didn't practice. Like, his rest, but like they just have so many injuries, and I just don't trust the culture of the team. You want to believe or to change the culture of the team and like history of the franchise, you got to start winning these games, and proving that you can win these games and changing the narrative for the team. But unfortunately, and again, like you said, the Patriots defense isn't that good. Their pass rush, Milton Williams is solid. He's coming back, and Barmore is solid, but like they don't have a great pass rush. Burt may be able to make some things happen. Patriots defense is not that good, besides for Christian Gonzalez, I would say. And maybe we'll see some big third down catches by Keenan Allen in what could be his last year. Maybe Ladd will make some plays for the Chargers, but ultimately, I think they'll keep it close. I don't think they're going up 29-0 and then blowing a lead like Vicey said, as he called, which is insane. Call of your life, honestly, that's crazy. But
It
He
probably
picked the
was the call
exact
of my life,
score.
yeah.
He picked the exact score.
Yeah.
You picked the exact score.
And the whole shutout to the comeback, it was pretty. I don't even know where it came on, like my tuchus.
Yeah.
No, you had the spirit of the game within
Football gods.
the football gods. Chargers defense will be able to do some stuff against New England, but New England, I think, really building a lot of confidence in their offense recently because they're playing such weak opponents that like there's also the argument of first game jitters, but then also the argument of like they're too young and dumb to know that they should be scared now. They're like they don't realize what the moment is. And Vrabel, I think, it's a great coaching battle. Vrabel's good enough to get them prepared at least for one matchup and keep them focused and stuff, even with all the stuff they're dealing with Stephon Diggs and the Barmore allegations and whatnot. And I definitely could see the Chargers doing enough to win this game, but 3.5, I will take the Patriots to win, but the Chargers to cover, and Chargers will lose like some heartbreak by 3 points. And maybe Borregales, the Patriots kicker, he is a rookie, so maybe he pulls a Tyler Loop and doesn't hit the game-winning kick, when it's asked of him. But I think he's hit some really clutch kicks already this season, and maybe he'll be their new Vinatieri, kick some game-winning kicks for them. But yeah, I'm going to go Patriots win, but Chargers cover 3.5.
Yeah, I also got that. I got the Chargers win and cover. Yep.
No, you got Chargers straight up. So,
Yeah.
Micey, what do you think?
I think I took on the thing I have. Again, it's the same thing as the Jaguars. I think I have the Patriots winning, but nothing would make me happier to see the Chargers win. I'd just be so happy for Jim, and I'd be happy for the one fan, and I'd be happy for myself because I hate the Patriots.
I know you want to rub it, Jake. I'm not even going to give him a full name.
It's not even Jake. I won't even. I don't even. It's not even a Jake thing. Like, it's just as a Ravens fan, like the Steelers winning it all would be like the most brutal thing in the entire world. That's for sure. But like the Patriots have been like that team. Like even the Colts don't even bother me as much as the Patriots. Like the Colts, because they had the Manning and they destroyed the Ravens year after year. But like even that doesn't bother me as much as like just Tom Brady year after year after year after year, just watching him win. So I hope they don't find their next Tom Brady, and I hope this is just a single one-off situation. And I think that hopefully it is.
That I don't think. I think the Patriots are here to stay. I just think they're very ahead of schedule. And even if they do lose to the Chargers, I think they have a huge.
I hope that we have a Commander situation. They just disappear after 1 year.
That is, it's possible. Borregales, he hit a 52-yarder against the Bills in that Week 5 game in Buffalo to win. When we kind of like, oh man, the Patriots might actually be good.
That was the beginning of
it says. And it says he idolized Adam Vinatieri growing up. So maybe he's got an Adam Vinatieri moment in him. And ironically, I think he was picked either right before or right after Tyler Luke could have had.
I think right before. It was right before. I think we were about to pick him, and then.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's not the first time the Patriots have done that to us, by the way. They did that with that linebacker when we were looking
Yes,
Right, it was.
exactly what I was going to say. Well, yeah. Oh,
Hightower,
Dante
Hightower. It
Hightower.
was with Hightower. Yeah, we were about to
Nice.
pick Hightower, and they traded up to they're like, yeah, we're gonna take
Yeah,
Hightower first.
yeah, yeah. Great minds. That's great. All right, on to the last game and probably the biggest hate watch game. I mean, Bills Steelers close, but the biggest hate watch as Ravens fans watching the Steelers who just beat the Ravens obviously to make the 4 seed. We're gonna go through this quickly. Texans Steelers, big, great, great Texans defense. Average offense, and then average to below average Steelers offense and defense, but somehow they win games with Tomlin and Rodgers. DK coming back. Rocky, is that going to make enough of a difference for them on this Monday Night Football game at home that Tomlin doesn't lose? Is that going to make enough of a difference for the Steelers this weekend?
The Tomlin narrative never loses at home, but always loses in the wild card round. So something's got to give.
Yep.
But will it make a difference? Certainly. I mean, listen, the Steelers against the Browns averaged 3.9 yards per dropback, and between Adam Thielen, MVS, Scotty Miller, they combined for 2.8 yards per target in that game, which is very, very low. And of course, DK Metcalf is averaging 14.4 yards per reception this year. So it's going to make a tremendous difference. I mean, the only downfield passing threat they have is DK Metcalf. Now, it showed up against the Browns. It showed up in the first half against the Ravens. They were able to have success in the second half without Kyle Hamilton. But the Steelers still, even with DK Metcalf back, their best offense is the run game. Their best offense is throwing to the backs to Gainwell and Jalen Warren. That is their best offense. That's been their most efficient offense all year. Those guys have been targeted like crazy. And, like you guys remember the first half, it's long distant memory at this point, but the first half against the Ravens, all Rodgers did was throw to Gainwell and Jalen Warren, dump off screen. Like, there was nothing down the field. There was one shot to MVS in the first half, and he actually missed a deep ball also later in the game. But other than that, until maybe the fourth quarter, there was nothing down the field for Aaron Rodgers in that game. So will DK Metcalf change that? I certainly think so. However, I don't know if it will be enough. Lassiter should be back this week, right? I think they sat him out last week, but he's supposed to be, right? They sat him out just because it was the last week of the season. But, man, you want to go Lassiter, you want to go Stingley. I don't know which direction you want to go. And by the way, the strength of the Steelers is the run game. Will Anderson, low-key, is a very good run stuffer. People know him as that wrecker on the edge, but he's a very good run stuffer, and the Texans only allow 3.3 yards per carry on outside runs, which is where the Steelers live. It's not a great matchup for the Steelers, but I do think that Aaron Rodgers, again, and I told you guys this last week, and nobody believed me, but I said it, he's playing very clean football. He is making tight window throws when he needs to. He is making clutch throws in third down when he needs to. He's been doing it for 5 weeks now. Since that first Ravens game, Aaron Rodgers has been playing a lot better football. I think the first 10 games, 12 games of the season, it was very ugly for him for a good portion of that. Yards per attempt is very low, but he's checking it down when he needs to, dump offs when he needs to, taking advantage of the middle field to fry him with when he needs to. Darnell Washington not being there still kills them. I still think it's going to really hurt them in this game. But Aaron Rodgers is playing cleaner football. This is not going to be a blowout, in my opinion. Just like last week, I'm telling you, it's not going to be a blowout. The Texans are a better team, but Rodgers is dialed in a little bit right now, and I do think he's seeing the field well, and I think he's going through his reads well and taking what the defense gives him. The Texans won't give him much, but whatever they do give him, he will succeed. So this will be a closer game than you guys want it to be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, sorry, give me a second here. Yeah, that's my hope here. That's my hope. Steelers just got absolutely well. CJ Stroud comes back to life. And I am all in for something like that to happen here. I don't have much to say. I don't want to talk about the Steelers much, so I'm just going to say, go Texans and go win the Super Bowl. I don't even care. But as long as the Steelers just – I hate the Steelers so much. But yeah, I almost want the Steelers to win, and it's just a 1 year fluke, and then next year, they just go back to the same donkey Steelers that we've always known.
It's a big game for Tomlin.
Yeah,
I think Tomlin felt it against the Ravens. Like, he was more animated than you normally see him on the sideline, right? I think we all noticed that.
He was also more aggressive than he's normally.
Yes. It was different for him. It was a different game.
It was a stupid play call. They should have just ran it up the middle. But yeah, going for it on 4th and 1 right before halftime. Yeah, or first down after they got the penalty on Hamilton. when they're down 10-3.
Morty Graham made a
it
great
was-
point. He said Kyle Hamilton got the passing interference on purpose, playing chess. So they knew they'd go for it, and then
So I don't think this
that.
game is going to be a blowout. Like, I mean, obviously I would love that, and it is possible. Obviously, Anderson or Hunter beats their tackles around the edge and just absolutely obliterates Aaron Rodgers. Then Rodgers is just too injured to continue. I think unless he's like literally bleeding out, I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna make every effort to stay on the field no matter how hard he's hit during this game. And if they go to
We might
Minnesota,
have some. We might have some. Oh, it's Monday night. It's supposed to snow on Sunday in Pittsburgh.
Manning
oh,
cast.
that's big. Yeah, and even
That's Sunday.
I think the Texans are a team. The Texans are a team, even though they're a dome team. They feel like they travel well because of the defense and like they don't have a great offense. They're below average by DVOA 19th, but they have the number 2 defense. They have a good kicker. Maybe there's some Steelers weird voodoo stuff that happens to their kicker also. As we saw Tyler Luke, but yeah,
You know what I was saying?
defense-
If the Steelers lose that game, Chris Boswell is going to be really questioned because to miss we're not looking at it now, but to miss an extra point in that spot for one of the best kickers in football is really crazy. Does not happen very often.
oh, we got a chance now. And then, yeah. But the Texans, like, yeah, their offense just sometimes just goes away. Like we saw them hit 2 big plays against the Chargers, 2 huge bombs down the field to Higgins and Collins, and you're like, whoa, CJ Stroud's back, and then they don't do much. So like sometimes they can disappear. And honestly, there's actual argument to say that Davis Mills was game managing the game better than CJ Stroud at times. But you want to believe in his talent. You want to believe in Stroud's pedigree. And I think the Tomlin streak of winning division 9-8, 10-7, and then losing first round is going to continue. I do think, obviously, picking biased wise, that is what I want to happen, but genuinely do believe that it will happen because the Houston defense will just overwhelm and swarm the dudes that that the Steelers have. The Texans don't really do a lot of like disguises and stuff, so it's like Rodgers
They
might
don't need
know
to.
what's coming. And they don't need to. They're just so good. And Stingley can lock down. It's going to come down so many matches. It's going to be very exciting when that ball's in the air on those fades or on those goes between Stingley and Metcalf because he's literally their only guy. It's like the Texans are good enough that they have all the dudes to run with freaking MVS and Calvin Austin. Like they just don't have an Adam Thielen. They don't have the dudes at receiver to be able to challenge these DBs. You could say maybe they can get the tight ends going a little bit, their run game. But yeah, they have one of the best run defenses in the NFL as well. They have the top 4 run defense. So like they're just all around awesome, really good defense. Offense should be able to do just enough. What is the line right now?
3, but Texas by 3, I think. That's what I saw.
Okay, yeah, I have Texans by 3. So if the Texans win by 3, does that mean the Steelers covered?
It means
Right?
it's a
It
nobody.
doesn't-
You get your money back.
Just push. Okay. So yeah, if it was 3.5, I'd probably take the Steelers to cover that because I think Houston wins by 3. But yeah, I think let's just take the Texans to cover. I'm gonna take Texans to win, cover that 3.5 or whatever. They'll win by 6 points, and Tomlin gets to stay for another 5 to 7 years for the Steelers, and they stay perfectly mediocre while the Ravens finally rise above.
I have a little
What do
bit
you
of a
think
different
about
ending. A little bit of a different ending to this, but I do think the Steelers pass rush can have success against the Texans. I absolutely think that. Texans offensive line's been baked up all season, so that's where their matchup to exploit is. But listen, CJ Stroud, for all his inconsistencies, very good throwing in the middle of the field between the numbers, 10th best passing grade in the league, and the Steelers, with their linebackers, Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, cannot for the life of them cover the middle of the field. And you saw that last week against the Ravens. That's where the Ravens had success. You saw that when Patrick Queen was on an island with Zay Flowers, he looked completely lost. I'm not blaming Patrick Queen. Like, him as a middle linebacker is not supposed to be able to go one-on-one with Zay. That play just kind of broke down. They thought they had Lamar in the backfield. But point is, whatever, without getting to that, point is that Patrick Queen has always been poor in coverage since his Ravens days, has not covered tight ends well or running backs well, and neither has Peyton Wilson. So they're going to struggle. I think the Texans offense can have success in this game, and coupled with that defense, they should be able to pull this off and cover the 3, and Mike Tomlin will be fired on Tuesday. And it'll be a new era. It'll usher in. Finally, I get to use this word.
Yeah.
It'll usher in a new era in the AFC North when we will finally, there will be no more Tomlin, no more Harbaugh. As great as that run was, which it was amazing. How many great games did we get between those two guys? No more Stefanski. Also a good run. But like Harbaugh and Tomlin said it himself. He's like, mine and Harbaugh's careers will always be intertwined with one another, which is true because they came in 1 year apart from each other and they always fought for the division. Big games towards the end of the season. Games that came down to the last play. Game-winning touchdowns, game-winning field goals, game-winning plays, game-winning turnovers. All these things it was everything in Ravens Steelers. You had high-scoring games, you had low-scoring games. And they really were always competitive matchups, but I think we're going to see the end of an era. If the Steelers lose this game on Monday night, it's going to be the end of an era in the AFC North. A new era will be ushered in.
Mike Tomlin, we made the playoffs, but now it's time to go past the wild card round.
Yeah.
Let's go. You have to win a game. We do not care.
We do not care. No, I think also another just I don't know if it was talked about when it comes to this Texan. Has there been a team like this interesting and where like they really were? No one bought into the Texans preseason. No one bought into them after week 3. Obviously, 0-3. No one bought into them until like they're like, oh wait, hold on a second. And who is the defensive coordinator for them? Is that just called by their coach, or is that
DeMeco Ryans calls defensive plays for them? No.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I have no clue what's going on there. Yeah, but is he not calling the plays? But DeMeco Ryan, what position did he play in the NFL? He played a running back or a linebacker?
He was linebacker.
So he keeps defensive minded. Okay.
He delegated that. Yeah, you saw it. You heard it.
Yeah. Says he delegated to Matt Burke. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, so we're all on Texans across the board, as I figured.
Yeah, Mike, you taking them to cover though? 3.
You can up that line to 57, and I'll still take it. I hate the Steelers so much. I'll lose all my money on them. I lost enough money on the Ravens, not winning on Sunday night. I'll lose more because of the Steelers. The Steelers are the reason I lose all my money. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, so it looks like after that losing streak at the beginning of the year, Matt Burke started calling plays. DeMeco Ryans gave Matt Burke play calling, and they started to turn it around. So he could focus. DeMeco was able to focus more on the
interesting.
On the
it's so interesting.
Coaching.
It's usually the exact opposite.
They do both. It goes both ways.
No, but usually, I usually see like, the coordinator's calling plays, and then instead of firing him, they just take away his ability to, No,
I mean the Browns did. The Browns, Stefanski was calling plays, and then he took it away. And the Lions did the flip. The Lions first they had an offensive coordinator, then Campbell took it over. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, no.
I agree with my Steve. That usually I see it go. That the head coach takes it over because he goes, all right, guys, you're struggling, you're sucking. Let me take over. I got to do this. I'm the head. But I don't think
it's a head coach's decision to say, hey, I'm not doing good here. Let me give this to somebody who is doing well, who could call. And I don't know why Matt Burke is not considered for a head coaching job if he's been obviously calling plays that are, pretty good. But that's another conversation. Ooh, nice.
An awesome wild card preview, awesome weekend football coming up, and if you include those college games as Mike was talking about Thursday, Friday, you have a playoff football from Thursday all the way through Monday. Obviously, only NFL weekend, but it's going to be an awesome weekend. Going to be incredible wild card, and we are super super excited. Going to give our reactions. I would say probably Wednesday, Thursday, along with our previews of the divisional round, which will also be potentially even better. But we're excited. Can't wait to watch. We can't wait to see what goes down in this year's playoffs.